Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for having me, Amy. The MiPO reading series is my biggest competition, so I'm glad that I finally get to read at it. Okay. Oceanic. There's a stamp of the world on the back of my hand, but 1/3 is missing. The Atlantic spills into my skin and paints my veins even bluer. I have to tell my boyfriends I have the ocean in me. My mother will press her lips to my forehead and decide if I'm salty. Veins rise, firm streaks of Appalachia. Florida shrinks, Cuba smears. I fear for the womanly archipelagos, cowering gazelles, legs folding. New York City will burn to the ground. The whole damn river is human blood, yet no drought declared, so we must be surviving. If the worst happens, I keep a sex journal under my bed. All my lovers collaborated, explaining what could be improved and how. Doesn't make sound, can't tell what she likes, twitchy. Ferries trudge through the syrupy brine to bring strangers closer. We've never relied on foreigners before, but it's crazy enough to work. I've been saying this for years. Stock up on bottled water, expel freely if it turns to blood inside you. Cigarette for the end of the world. While family patriarchs stocked up on toilet paper, I dragged you to a bridal shop, abandoned by its owner. We smashed the window with a rock. I dressed myself in the priciest, whitest gown I could find, gave you my best ballerina twirl, my last. You smiled and adjusted the hem. Now I've gotten ashes all over the hand-stitched beading and chiffon. Typical, you say. I blow clouds in your face. The storefront floor is full of glass. We pull up cushioned satin chairs and watch men, women, and children bestow final kisses. They don't even notice us. This is what I call living. That poem was in MiPOesias, and this is the other poem that was in MiPO. It's based on graffiti that I saw at the Bowery Poetry Club in the women's bathroom. Fuck you and everyone else that makes me feel banal. I spend all night trying to convince you I'd be a good roommate. You could fall asleep in the bathtub, and I wouldn't turn the water on to wake you. I won't say a word if you steal my panties, and I find them under your pillow the next day. Soon I'm drunk and distracted by the prospect of glorious pits down the first available drain. I ask for the restroom, and the stall I choose has an ad for shaving cream on the door. Directly above, scrawled in pen, the wall reads, "Fuck you and everyone else that makes me feel banal," next to a drawing of a hairy cock and balls. Fuck you and all crudely drawn genitalia. Fuck your 5th floor walk-up apartment. I don't need this. I've got a friend who wants to set me up with a cute children's puppeteer. Fuck puppets. Children, too. They petrify me. Time for a smoke. We leave the club, promise the bartender we'll be back, but we won't. I sit on the curb stuck on bathroom graffiti. You pull me up just as I get comfortable. Extra closet space, that's my final offer. We brush arms as I describe hours spent untangling thongs from ties. A few months ago I went to Tokyo for a little while because my best friend lives there, and his job is that he works at a neuroscience research facility, and he tests the vocal pattern and behaviors of birds, and he does that by injecting their brains with different things, which I find very interesting. So after I came back, I wrote a couple of poems based on that. So, city sleep. We make the move to Tokyo. Our plastic umbrellas shine like windows of black angled towers, gazebos draped in sakura. I don't love much more than a skyscraper. Every night I call old friends from the future. You tell me a bedtime story of birds that fall right to sleep when the sharp of the needle skims its way into their docile brains. We cherish our lives in the city. Trains, cars, bedrooms all stop and go, all same-sided beads that curl our white necks. Birds of Tokyo. Never saw the birds before they died, your hand stroking them to calm, the point of your pen a harbinger of silence, dismissal. Work is work. You divvy up what remains, coax specimens into cages, fold wings into walls. Without you, sex is panicked, furious rush hour throngs, all businessman beaks and claws. Your secretary calls the ryokan alarmed, interrupts the sizzle of steak on the grill. You tie the blue knot of your robe. You say, don't call here again until the babies die. Tokyo allergy. The needle will find you, sink past sweet shoulder to prevent you sneezing, surrounded by flowers. You suddenly sympathize with feathers frightened by a hand that marries harm with secret intervals of sleep. Suspicious of marriage, antidotes, the magic position that slides hip against hip. In the mornings, I'm your bird, wings tucked against the shrill of your alarm, a needle point, a busy day of pecking heads into skulls, bodies into bodies. Tokyo hands. The girl next door is moving. Each morning you find crowds crush. Golden week, smoke hangs on socks, balcony shrouded. No time to touch, to blanket. The narrow alley cleavage bumps streets too thin. You write, never leave, on every body part. Tokyo lays a hand. Fortune. If a girl tells you to eat something off her tits, you'd better do it. Even if it's sardines, you will do it. This is my attempt at flarf. It's probably not anything like it. It's called Joey Fatone is Making a Comeback, which he is. Joey Fatone was born in Bensonhurst in a fantasy lunchbox league. Is somehow less brain-stimulating than he sounds. Epic Frank Sinatra, Italian hero, the creamiest in town. Bologna, pepperoni, yellow American cheese. Eisenhower affixed to every possible surface. The dangers of royal teens, briny green, stuffed into short shorts, hot and half mad. This is for my friend Mark Bivens, because I blatantly stole something that he told me and put it in this poem. So it's for you, Mark. Okay. Getaway. We call it Hotlanta, but it's 43 and brisk. At least the grits are plentiful. I enter a Hilton drugstore, clutch a tequila sunrise, and buy a bath sponge. In the bar, poets inhale cheddar burgers and smoke. 30-somethings do the dance of loneliness and despair. Silly women sway, falling asleep, vibrating. Failing sleep, morning feels arrow-plotted. The apple butter on the biscuit reminds of AIDS spat dead in southern twisters. The cabbie's theory? Population control. Our thighs may touch, our heads won't stay put if the car stops short, but split like these eggs, over easy, on permanent loan from a mother. This is my last poem. My dick strikes twice in New York. Broadway is a tall, noir corridor of nylon and press-on nails. Every high-heeled girl belongs to someone. Both times I am not offered coffee. Every doorman sneers, and I cab it back to the hotel, just in time for the end of the continental breakfast.